goal. So being realistic about it, that's when you get smart. We'll talk about SMART goals. Goals can help make career plans clear and more meaningful. As goals reach, you'll experience motivation and self-confidence. Setting goals is in major areas of your life, include personal, career, financial, educational, physical. We're going to talk about financial in a couple of weeks. We talk about taking control of your personal finances. Some of you be like, why is that important? And because it is. It's really important. It's going to help. You know, if you're successful, you know, personally, if you're financially sound, that will give you the opportunity to be able to explore different career choices. Gives you the opportunity, if you have that terrible boss and you quit your job, that you can quit your job and be able to live for a little bit until you get the next job that you want. It's a really important thing, and it goes into you as a person. You're not just your career. You're not just your physical or your educational. If you get a degree, it's much more than that. We're looking at the entire. You know, we're looking at this more holistically. We already talked about some of the goals that you have. Now, short-term and long-term goals we touched on just a minute ago. You know, sometimes you're going to have these big long-term goals. My goal, you know, about 7 years ago when I left industry and got into academia back in 2011, you know, I knew my goal was to be a professor and to one day run a hospitality school, run a program. Now, in order to do that, there's a couple things I need to get done. I needed to get a doctorate, and I needed to work in the. I needed to actually teach. So, you know, I couldn't get a doctorate. At that point, I only had a bachelor's. So I had to first get my master's degree, keep teaching. Now I'm in the doctoral program. I can't just wake up and okay. I needed to set goals. Okay, 3-year goal, get my MBA. Got the MBA from Drexel. And I moved on to. When I came here, got in the doctoral program, you know, but you have to set small, you know, you have to chunk your goals into manageable pieces. Can any of you give an example of a long-term goal that you've had and how you went about achieving it? Yes?
I want to do the Disney internship program, and I plan to apply for it after graduate so I can do the extended program. So hopefully it'll turn into a full-time job.
When do you graduate?
2020, December, I think.
Okay, it's funny because I'm actually going to be sending this out to everyone this week about the Disney program, about applying for that and possibly working, you know, in the summertime or in the fall or spring. But that's actually going to be going out to everybody. How many of you would be interested in applying for a Disney internship?
I already applied once but didn't get in.
Okay. I'll work with you. We'll work with you with resume and everything else this term. The deadline's coming up, I believe, in late February. We should be able to get those in time. There's going to be a lot of other internships out there too. So, yeah. But I couldn't stress that enough. Like if you're going for, you know, if anything in hospitality, having something like that in your resume would be fantastic.
Ms. Callahan sent out an email about like 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then also right now the Disney College program is taking applications.
Okay. We talked about this about long-term goals real quick. Long-term goals are the 5 to 10 year goals. Talk about like with my doctoral program, take 5 to 10 years to achieve. You have to chunk your goals though and make sure you're able to, you know, you can do it, just working towards your inevitable goal. But you have to break up long-term goals into short term, just like you were talking about with your Disney internship. In order to do that, we have to have resume, cover letter, we have to have all those things in place to get to this long-term goal. So, and you have to achieve one thing, that it's predicated on you being able to get your short-term goals done. So it's good to look ahead at the future, but you have to also focus on the present to get to where you want to go. Short-term goals are goals that can be reached within a year's time, referred to as objectives in the business world. And you set those short-term goals leading up to your long-term goals. And we're going to do this a lot this term and talk about this about SMART goals. How many of you have heard the term SMART goals before? Okay. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based. Specific is talking about identify exactly what you want to accomplish or quantify. Measurable, identifying how you know when you've achieved it. that said, if you don't have a specific goal, it's tough to measure and tough to know when, if you're gonna hit it. If you're gonna say, I wanna be in, I wanna get in great shape, that's my goal. So that's not specific or measurable. When do I know I'm in great shape? I need to lose 20 pounds. Now, or if I wanna lose 20 pounds by March 15th, something like that, I'm getting more specific, and then I start drilling down and chunking that and figuring out how I can get there. Achievable is challenging, yet attainable and realistic. If I said I want to lose 80 pounds by March 15th, I'd have to cut my legs off in order to do that. But, it can be done, but relevant, is it meaningful to me? Time bound, you have to put a specific time in there. Now, some people get bogged down by the time part of it. Now, is it that important if I lose 20 pounds if it's by March 15th? What if I don't get there until March 30th? It all depends. It depends on the goal. It depends if you're working from a project management standpoint, then you need to, people are paying and they're expecting the job done on time. You have to have smart goals. I need to have this done by this date. That's it, bottom line. Most people will get bogged down with personal goals where if I don't have this by this time, then what do you do when you hit that time? You're not there. You just give up. No, you don't give up. You just keep going. You just don't. It all depends. So don't beat yourself up over that stuff. But we're going to talk about SMART goals later in the class. Goal aspects, making sure that you own the goal. You take ownership of it. And you control it, so you know what resources and constraints are involved, and you're flexible and maintain realistic control. It's okay to set goals and be rigid in your goal, being flexible in how you get there. Like I said, in your career and goal setting, everything else, you're going to have a specific thing that you want. But your career is going to go up and down, sideways. But it's going to happen. But you need to realize, I'm going to get there by the end. Doesn't matter how. You have to believe in yourself, bet on yourself, and know you're going to make it. A life plan includes education, career, social and spiritual, financial activities. You're much more, like I said, than just your degree. It's an entire package. So your health is important, your spirituality, your friendship, your inner circle, your not so inner circle. All these things are important, and we're going to touch on each of these throughout the term. We're all focused on degrees right now. Certificates are important as well. One of the great things about our program is we push certifications. Like most people come out, you'll have your guest service professional certification, front desk, restaurant server. You have all these, serve safe. These are things that you need at building a foundation for your career. So it's not just a degree, and taking advantage of all the resources that you have. We have so many resources in this college, which Ms. Flohr might be talking about here shortly. We have so many things to help you achieve your goals and to help you become successful. Whether you take them or not, it's up to you. One of the problems we find ourselves as educators, we know that, we'd like to, as much as we'd like to do it for you and help you get there, you need to take that initiative on your own. We have things out there, career services. Career services used to be a check in a box. When I was in college 20 years ago, you had to go to career services before you graduate to check it off a list, to get your resume approved. And now we're actually in the college. You can go and see career services after you make an appointment. But they're there to help you with resumes, cover letters, we do workshops, we do everything under the sun to help prepare you. Whether you do it, it's up to you. But they're all out there. All these resources are there for you. We're going to get into some of this later on about creating the life plan. We're going to get into a lot of that in 2 weeks. But the bottom line from today is just making sure, as we go through the Clifton strengths, as we go through the Focus 2 and the Myers-Briggs, that's all looking at yourself and figuring out who you are and what's important to you, what your goals could and should be in the future. Focusing on your strengths and utilizing those strengths to get to your inevitable end goals. So those are things that we're going to be working on. We're going to talk about it more next week in class, and we'll talk more about the assignment that we'll be doing in 2 weeks, and which is going to incorporate all 3 of those self-assessments. So we're going to take a short break right now, and Ms. Flohr will be in just a minute to